Hi everyone, and welcome to this, our first edition of the StingRays Show. I'm Steve Cooney, and if you're a hockey fan like I am, especially if you're a StingRays fan, then you'll want to be sure to join us each and every week throughout the hockey season. We'll be bringing you the kind of hockey news and views you won't find anywhere else, including weekly insights from head coach Rick Vive, in-depth Stingray player profiles, features on other players, coaches, and officials from around the East Coast Hockey League, and opinions on just about everything relating to hockey. We'll also be bringing you highlights from games both home and away, and keeping you informed with the best stats you'll get, the kind of stuff only a half-hour hockey show could give you. This week, we'll be talking to Rick Vive as he prepares for his second season behind the Stingrays bench. Returning center Gary Socha will also be featured, and the 1994 model is bigger, stronger, and glad to be back. General Manager Frank Nilm will be along to talk about his exhaustive off-season recruiting campaign. You'll be meeting one of the products of that campaign in the person of defenseman Tom Nemeth. And we'll go face-to-face with club president Marcel Dion, who, as usual, shoots straight from the hip. Right now, we'll take you into a break with some of last season's final stats, and when we come back, a conversation with the coach. If you're a decision maker in today's business world, then this message is for you. In the last 5 years, HealthSource has grown to become the largest HMO health plan in the Carolinas. Why? Because HealthSource specializes in health plans for businesses with affordable rates, reduced paperwork, an outstanding physician network, and excellent coverage for employees. Give us a call to find out what HealthSource can offer your business. HealthSource, it's your source for a better health plan.
When it comes to jewelry, everyone has their own personal style and taste. At Krogan's Jewel Box, our extensive and varied collection is sure to have something that's just right for you. Visitors can take home our famous Charleston rice bead necklace, charms, or silver spoons. See our wide selection of gold jewelry, fabulous pearls, contemporary gemstone designs. We also carry rare estate jewelry. Krogan's Jewel Box has that special piece that's just perfect for your own personal style. Come to Krogan's Jewel Box, north of the Omni on King Street.
Heading into a new East Coast Hockey League season, you got a year under your belt as a coach. Is that going to change your approach a little this year?
Well, I think, first of all, our first camp last year, we ended up only with 17 players at training camp, so there really wasn't any competition. I don't think the guys, they weren't pushed because there was no reason to push because we needed 17 players to play. This year we've got 30 guys at camp. We've got 2 teams which will scrimmage for 3 days, and quite frankly, with the players that Frank Milne has assembled here, there's going to be a heck of a lot of competition, and I think that in itself will push the guys to be better, and I think because of that we'll have a better hockey club.
What about you as a coach? Was last year a learning experience for you too?
There's no question. I learned a lot last year in my first year of coaching. I think I was still kind of just coming out of being a player. I was a little bit too easy on the players, I think, and although I was hard at times, I think I treated them a little bit too good, and I was a little easy on them. And this year I'll be a little different. I'm going to be a little tougher on them. I'm going to be more demanding of them, and I think that'll make me a better coach. I'm not going to treat them like kids and and skate them until they fall down and that sort of thing. But I expect them to have responsibility and to come and work hard whenever they come to this building, and they're going to know that because I'm going to be tougher.
What was the toughest part about making the transition from player to coach?
I think the toughest part was when you're a player, you only really have to worry about yourself and getting yourself ready to play each and every game. As a coach, now I have to worry about 18 guys, and I've got to learn what makes each individual player tick, how I get the best out of them. One guy maybe I have to kick in the rear, maybe another guy I have to pat on the back, and everybody's different. All the players are different. I have to figure that out, and it's tough sometimes, but it's fun.
Going into your second year now, you've learned this stuff. You've learned about dealing with players, maybe learned a little bit about dealing too with your own emotions, because you have to have a different kind of emotion as a coach than you do as a player.
Yeah, I think that is another thing that I'll be better at this year. I kind of, how to put it, I guess I lost control at times last year, yelling at officials. And when you're playing, it's a little different because you can go out and take out your frustrations on the other, your opponents. When you're coaching, there's nothing to take your frustrations out but to yell at the officials. And over the summer, I made a vow to myself that I wasn't going to do that this year. I was going to stay relatively calm on the bench. And also, when you get carried away on the bench, it carries over to your players. And I think if I'm calm and cool and collected on the bench, I think my players will act accordingly.
When the Stingrays play their first game of the regular season this Friday night here at the Coliseum against the Knoxville Cherokees, there will be a lot of new players in the lineup, but there will also be some familiar faces. One of them will be number 8, Gary Sosha, and when he came in and saw the talent assembled at training camp this year, he couldn't wait for the season to begin.
It's a whole different story this year. Frank really did a good job this year of bringing in a lot of players that could probably play here and the next level. I mean, you know, there's just a little bit of difference between the next level and here, and I'd say all 30 players that came in could play. If they weren't going to make this team, they could play on any other team in the East Coast League. I mean, it's a lot of talent. I'm looking forward to playing with some of these guys.
That's got to bode well for the fans, too, because this club made the playoffs last year in their first year in the league, and the way I'm hearing everybody speak, making the playoffs this year is only going to be the beginning.
Well, you know, you got to put a winning team on the ice for the fans, and you know, because the excitement of hockey is only going to go so far. And when winning is catchy, you know, when we start winning, people are going to want to come see, you know, us win, and you know, I think that's what's going to happen this year. We're going to be in the first couple of slots all year, and you know, continue. You know, when we get to the playoffs, then we'll have to continue it.
Hey, it looks like there's a good bit of size here this year, too.
Yeah, I worked up myself this summer, and there's a lot of other big guys, and you know, the big guys got to use their size out there, and you know, that's important because you know, we can outmuscle those little guys, so it's going to be important this year, the size. What
kind of program did you put yourself through in the off season? I know
we had about 5 months off, and about 5 or 6 months, and first month I just took it easy, played a little golf. That was, you know, get myself rested, and then after that I hit the weight room every day for 5 or 6 days a week, and really, you know, went for size. And then towards the end, in the last couple of months, I rode the bike a lot, which gets your endurance up, and that's real important in hockey. So, you know, I gained about 10 to 12 pounds in the off season, which is going to, you know, help me this year.
I know that every player's goal is to keep moving up the ladder. I guess if you're gonna be somewhere at a certain stage of your career, it's nice to be in a place that you're familiar with. So coming back here wasn't entirely a negative, I would think.
No, absolutely not. You know, I got called up last year for 3 or 4 games, and you know, it was great. I was really happy to get the call up, and but it was nothing like this, to tell you the truth. I mean, I've developed so much more down here than I would up there because, you know, 3 or 4 games with limited ice time doesn't really, you know, get me that much experience. But down here, where I was on the power play, I got to kill penalties. I mean, you just become such. I'd say I'm a lot better player than I was when I started last year, and that's because of all the ice time I got down here.
I guess the other side of it too is that this year, if you're playing with a better hockey team, you're going to get you're going to be noticed more as well. If the team's doing well, then the players get noticed.
That's right. The teams that are looking down here for players are going to look at the winning teams. They're not going to take the last place teams and the teams that are just squeaking in the playoffs. They're going to look for the teams that win the whole thing. I know when Toledo won last year, half their players got contracts for the next level. So that's what we're all looking for on this team. We're going to have a good team, and we all, of course, want to move on to the next level. But if we don't, this is the best place to be.
It's time for another break, and we'll take you in with some league stats this time. When we come back, General Manager Frank Milne talks about his off-season recruiting activities.
Tomorrow morning, don't forget to tune in Talk Radio, because if it's on your mind, it's on WTMA. Tune to AM 1250, WTMA, the hottest talk in town. When we're not reporting the news, we're talking about it.
Looking for good food and fun the whole family can enjoy? Come to Tommy Condon's, Charleston's only authentic Irish pub and restaurant. We've been serving up Irish specialties and low country favorites for over a decade. Join in on an old Irish sing-along or just come to laugh and have a pint or two. That's Tommy Condon's.
Come get fresh with us. A.W. Shucks, where all the seafood comes fresh to you. Tommy Condon's Irish Pub and A.W. Shucks, both in the market.
For 110 years, Berlin's has brought the best in men's fashion to Charleston. Accordingly, collections from the world's most admired designers await you now. Whether you prefer contemporary silhouettes from Boss, Monty, and Abood, or the timeless tailorings of Hickey Freeman and Brooks Brothers, they're all here, plus custom and big and tall shots. Something else you'll enjoy is the personal service, and parking's free. That's Berlin's.
Going into the second season with the StingRays, it had to be a little different for you in the off-season recruiting this time. Last year, everybody's saying, where is this place? Who are these people? What is this team? Now, all of a sudden, 9,100 fans a game later, they're saying, well, now we know where it is.
Well, it was. My summer has been different. Of course, we've had a change in management at the top, and Marcel and Harris Goodman have taken a lot of the inside work away from me and left the hockey team up to me. And this summer, since May, we've been working on recruiting players, and looks good.
Have you found it easier to get players to listen this time around?
Well, last year, to have players come here, we had to negotiate contracts before we got them to come here. This year, we're going to have probably 30-some players here at camp. We've never had to negotiate a contract. We've told them, come look, see the place, and they said, we know what it's like. What are we going to be making? And I said, you should let Rick and I look at you on the ice. We'll tell you what you're going to be making.
What kind of players are you attracting this year compared to last year? And I don't want to make that sound like there was anything wrong with last year's team, because obviously the product worked out well. You got into the playoffs, but do you find the caliber of players is a little different this time around?
Well, yesterday I said to the press, Steve, that we've had over 60 players from this league, and some pretty good hockey players call and want to come here and try out this year. Of course, the same old story. If they're on somebody's protected list, we can't talk to them. But we have, over the summer, we've had a lot of former pros, a lot of kids that have played maybe a year or two up in the American League or the International League, have called us about coming here to play, and
we get their name, take their number, check them out, their character, and if they're, what kind of players they are, and then we call them back and say yes or no, you can come to camp.
Where are most of them coming from, or is it a good cross-section?
They're from all across the country. They're from, we got one coming from LA, we got from Vancouver, Calgary, Illinois, Wisconsin, up through Maine and Massachusetts, and up into Ontario and Western Canada.
Overall, the camp that you'll have this year, when you compare the kids that you have to choose from compared to the kids you'd have to choose from last year, I'm getting the impression, in talking to Rick and talking to you, you'll have a few more options this time around.
Well, last year we opened camp with 16 players. They didn't know where Charleston or North Charleston was, so you had a real project trying to talk them into coming down here. This year they all know where it is, and we've got a lot of class, skilled hockey players coming. Usually when you have a camp of 30 to 35, you have 3 days of scrimmages and then you start making cuts. I think that we're going to have some big decisions to make on some of the players. I've told the players from last year's team, don't come here because you're coming back here. Don't think you're coming here and there's a ready-made job for you here. You've got to work for it. So they all understand that, and then the players that are coming in, they know the talent that's here. I mean, just today a player arrived, and when he looked at the lineup pasted on the wall, his eyes were open. He saw some good hockey players here.
The positive results of Frank Milne's busy summer have already been apparent during the preseason. The new talent has been impressive, and none more so than Tom Nemeth, who last year was named the ECHL's outstanding defenseman. Like all the other newcomers, he's thrilled to be here and anxious to start playing for keeps. Everybody in the league, I'm sure, was aware of the tremendous success this franchise had last year. What were you thinking when you knew you were going to come down here, when you knew that you're going to be playing in front of 9,000 or 10,000 people every night? That's got to be a good feeling for a player.
It actually is, yeah. Just playing in front of a huge crowd, like you get into the game a lot more than when there's only like 1,000 into it. It's like no one really wants to be in a place where there's no people, but when a rink's sold out, like it's a great atmosphere to play in.
What about the facility itself? You've had a few days to look at it now.
Oh, it's second to none. It's a gorgeous rink. The ice is awesome. It's huge. Not like where I was used to playing. The rink I played in last year is about half this size, but it looks like a great place to play.
You've got another thing to contend with, and that's a change of teams. I know that when you're changing teams and staying in the same league, it's always kind of an awkward situation because you're going to confront guys that you knew and played with the year before. What do you say to yourself in a situation like that?
Well, it's not as big of a deal as you think, because like a lot of guys on this team now I've played with and against in previous years, so you really know a lot of the guys throughout the league already. But if we were to play my former team, it probably would be a little weird, because just the thought that knowing that I played for them, knowing how they play, it could be a little funny playing against them.
What made you make the change? I know that you told me earlier you got a contract, but it had to be more than that. I'm sure the team you played for must have offered you another contract.
Well, actually, no, they didn't. They would have. See, if I didn't sign an AHL contract, then I wouldn't be here. They would have either had to trade me, or I would have had to gone back there in this league. So that's kind of what happened there, and a chance to play in South Carolina was awesome. So you can't pass that up.
Explain that to me a little more too, because the league rule stipulates if the other team that you played with last year, which in your case was Dayton, had wanted to re-sign you, they could have, as long as you had not been offered a contract by...
Yeah, if I wasn't signed to an AHL or IHL contract, then my rights for the ECHL would have been held by Dayton. Since I was signed by an AHL team, they assigned me to their affiliate here, which is in South Carolina. That's how you get around that. So now, after this year, if I don't sign an IHL contract or AHL contract, I can go anywhere because I'm not under a South Carolina contract. But last year I was under a Dayton contract. They own my rights.
Who are you affiliated with in the NHL?
Buffalo. Buffalo, Rochester, Charleston.
Well, that's got to be nice for you. That's close to home, too.
Yes,
You're from
very
St.
close
Catharines,
home.
Ontario, which
Yeah.
is, what, about 20 minutes from Buffalo?
It's not very far, that's right, yeah.
All right, well, as you go through camp now and you look towards the beginning of the season, what's your assessment of the teammates, of the roster they've assembled here?
I have a feeling we're going to score a lot of goals. A lot of goals. If we give up 6, we'll score 7. That's the way it looks right now, and that's my kind of hockey.
Welcome to Charleston.
Thanks a lot.
That was easy, right across the Cooper River Bridge, just like they said. No wonder all the Charleston local shop at Gwynn's for selection and quality brands. Just what I'm looking for. He'll like this. I'm in heaven. Perfect for my little angel. My mother-in-law likes these. Oh, you have shoes too. Now just one more thing for me.
Gwynn's of Mount Pleasant, over the Cooper River Bridge to 17 North and right at the second light.
What happened?
17-year-old drunk driver, head on with a truck, no seatbelt.
We need 4 units of blood here right now, please. We're losing them.
Being a trauma nurse is a tough job.
We did everything we could.
I'm so sorry.
The hardest part of our job is having to say we're sorry. This tragedy was preventable. Don't drink and drive.
Marcel Dion took over as head man of the StingRays partway through their first season of operation. The reasons for the change have been well documented and have absolutely nothing to do with hockey. So after almost a full year of dealing with the off-ice stuff, he can't wait to begin focusing once again on the game that he loves.
Well, you're right. I spent a big part of last year put things back in order financially for this franchise, the administration side of it, and I spent quite a bit of time. I didn't enjoy hockey as much, but that I should, and I think what has happened over the summer and the tremendous response from our fans, I'm very excited right now because I'm going to be spending a little bit more time and of course talking to the players through the proper channel, which basically comes from Rick to Frank and to me, so and really help them to settle. I mean, I had tremendous experience in this game, and try to talk to them about reaching certain goals or the things that they are uncertain of. So looking forward to that. It's going to be different than last year, there's no doubt. We feel that our team is going to be 50% better than last year. Defensively, we're just awesome. We have some key players. I'll tell you when you're going to see Derek Booth play for us the whole year. And again, he might be called up. He's not on a pro contract, but that's the arrangements we have with our affiliate in case they have injuries. But he's going to be a key on defense. You got Tom Nemeth, Rob Sumner. That's a thing last year we had a problem with. If we scored 6 goals, we had to worry about going to the last minute. Are they going to get a next one, make it 7-6? But in goal, we're going to be as strong. And offensively, I think we have a bigger team, and Fleury is going to be back. We don't know yet still with Chris Bright, but we are in a position where we're going to be much, much better. And then Rick has 1 year under his belt here because there's a lot of things that we faced last year. We were not prepared and so on, and because it was the first year of operation. But the main thing now is to focus on the hockey team, put the best product out there. But it doesn't mean when you start the season, as you've seen, that's going to be the set team, because I think we're going to try to improve it. We know we have to be tough. We saw what Andy Bizou did last year, and I think the fans really enjoyed that. But if we need an enforcer or a player that's very physical, we want to make sure that he can play and spend a lot of time on the ice, but not in the penalty box. So we're very excited. I'm excited for the product I've seen so far. And again, as I say, it's going to be other teams that are going to be in that same position, but I don't think too many teams have improved so much compared to last year in our league. If a team is an independent team, then it's very difficult to sign good players because they get in that situation there where you're going to go over the salary cap. It's a thing that you have to be creative. You see what's happening in the NBA, I think, and we see now with baseball and the ECHL, they want a salary cap. We see what has happened in football. There's no such thing really as a salary cap because they're trying to, well, defer the payments or do this and do that. So you're always on your toes and thinking about it. So you're right. Once you have pros, and if they get called up, you got 3 or 4 players. The thing is, the fans are watching this player, then he leaves. And if you have an independent team, well, the chances is he's going to stay with you basically the whole year, and where the fans identify with them. We saw last year what happens with certain players. A couple of goalies that would very well like Billy Pye and Frankie Ouellette. Well, they had to go on because now we have 2 pros coming in. Frustrating, but I think after a few games everybody forget. But it's a challenge every day, and that's the way the system works right now. I hope in the near future, like again, the strategy of our league the next 4 or 5 years, we can really address this. And but then it's a little nightmare for a general manager when he loses those players. There's no doubt. My position is just to make sure that those young men, for us, are really happy that they come here and they've seen the changes. I'll tell you, the recruiting has been much easier because anywhere they've been, they've heard that if you're going to play in this league, the best place to play is in Charleston, South Carolina. And that helps. So what we want to make sure is with all our sponsors and people are involved with us, that those players have access to them, and if they can generate extra income, and that'll be very beneficial for the team and for the players. We have some players right now that I've stayed here. Danny Weeb is working for us. Jim Sprott has hung up his skates, but he's working in the community, and that's what's important. That shows you that some guys have come here and they just don't want to go back. So if we can create this with the community, the players that are here are going to make it much easier for them to leave and say, hey, this is the place to play. They treat you right. The fans are just unbelievable. And it's a place to play. They like to play golf, they like to go fishing, and all those little elements, because it's not like go, go, go every day. It's a transition where you relax. And I just want to be part of the players to say, hey, when your families come down here, your mom and dad, they can come down a nice little vacation. And if the players are happy this way, they're going to play well for us.
The Stingrays wound up the preseason with a perfect 3-0 record. Last Wednesday at the Coliseum, they beat Greensboro 8-5. Friday night, they visited the Monarchs in Greensboro and won 6-4. Then on Saturday night, they faced the newest entry in the league, the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks, and won an exciting 5-4 come-from-behind overtime victory. The regular season begins this Friday at the Coliseum. The Knoxville Cherokees come to town for the home opener. Then on Saturday night, the Stingrays play host to the Nashville Knights. Well, that just about wraps it up for edition 1 of the StingRays Show. We hope you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to tell your friends. Remember, we'll be back next week for more of the same right here on Comcast Cable Channel 2. In the meantime, I'm Steve Cooney. Thank you for watching.